He was one of the toughest African American pioneering heels in the history of professional wrestling. Brickhouse Brown. I'm Todd Tanner. This is Wrestling News Now. Tonight, I'm profiling and talking about the one and only Brickhouse. Who was Brickhouse Brown? Frederick Seawright was born on the 11th of August of 1960. He passed away July 29, 2018. He was an African American professional wrestler, better known by his ring name Brickhouse Brown. He was a top heel in several Southern promotions in the 1980s and 1990s. Brown's first matches in professional wrestling were for Southwest Championship Wrestling under Joe Blanchard in San Antonio, Texas. He had no training prior to his first match in 1982 against Bobby Jaggers, but was later trained by Terry Funk. In 1983, he joined the National Wrestling Alliance, and for the next 4 years, he competed in various territories, especially with the Sea West. In September 1985, he won the NWA Southwestern Tag Team Championship with Norvell Austin defeating the Nightmares. They lost the title back to the Nightmares a week later. Damn. In the summer of 1986, Brown worked for World Wrestling Federation where he scored upset victories over Moondog Rex, Tiger Chung Lee. He would lose to the Iron Sheik Bob Orton Jr., Harley Race, and Hercules Hernandez. In March 1987, Brown went to Memphis to wrestle for Championship Wrestling Association. In July 1987, he won his first singles title, the AWA Southern Heavyweight Championship, defeating Jerry the King Lawler. He lost the title back to him a week later. In May 1988, he defeated Max Payne to win the CWA Heavyweight Championship. He held this top title for nearly 2 months before losing it to Phil Hickerson in August 1988. Brown got involved in a racially charged angle with Robert Fuller and the Stud Stable, wherein Fuller gave Brown a watermelon as a gift and beat him with a leather strap. Because of the co-promoting with the American Wrestling Association and World Championship Wrestling, he also had a chance to wrestle in the AWA and WCCW. After Super Clash 3, the AWA pulled out and the CWA-WCCW cross promotion continued as Jerry Jarrett brought Fritz von Erich's majority stake in WCCW. In February 1989, Brown won the WCCW Texas Heavyweight Championship, defeating Iceman King Parsons. He was champion for over a month before losing to Gary Young. In late 1989, he briefly returned to Florida for Professional Wrestling Federation and the Gulf Coast for Continental Wrestling Federation. Back in Memphis in April 1990, he won the USWA World Tag Team Championship with Sweet Daddy Falcone, defeating the Southern Rockers. They kept the belts for nearly a month before losing them back to the Southern Rockers. In November 1991, he went to Portland for Pacific Northwest Wrestling. Pacific Northwest Wrestling. His run in Portland ended in June 1992. Back in Memphis, in April 1995, Brown won his second USWA World Tag Team Championship with the Gambler, defeating PG-13. They held on to the belts for over 2 weeks before losing them back to PG-13. In July 1995, Brown competed in the World Wrestling Federation as enhancement talent and worked for 2 TV tapings, one against Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, The Game, and the next night against Henry O. Godwin. In August 1995, he wrestled in Ozark Mountain Wrestling, which was the USWA's developmental territory. In May 1996, he won the USWA Television Championship, defeating Jesse James Armstrong. A month and a half later, he dropped the belt to Wolfie D. In July 1996, he quickly rebounded and won his third and final USWA World Tag Team Championship with Reggie B. Fine, defeating Brett Sawyer and Flex Carvana. They held onto the title for 3 weeks before losing it to the Moondogs. Brown left USWA in January 1997 before the company folded later that November. After leaving the USWA, Brown remained active in the independent scene for 20 years, mainly in Tennessee and Mississippi, until his cancer diagnosis in 2017. At Juggalo Championship Wrestling 2011 Internet Pay-Per-View Legends and Icons, he was one of 4 USWA alumni who lost a 5-way match to Austin Idol. In April 2019, Brown announced his diagnosis of stage 4 prostate cancer. In May 2018, he said the cancer had spread to his brain despite treatment that impaired his eyesight and reduced his weight to 150 pounds. Several Southern promotions held benefit shows to help pay his medical bills, and the Cauliflower Alley Club's benevolent fund helped him pay his rent. Brown was reported dead or deceased on July 20th, 2018 from prostate cancer. The next day, Cauliflower Alley President B. Brian Blair said Brown was still alive after waking up in the night and telling his mother, who thought he was dead and was awaiting the coroner, that he was hungry. Brown died on July 29th, 2018. His funeral took place in Florida on August 11th, which would have been his 58th birthday. So now I'm going to talk about the championship titles that Brickhouse Brown held. In the Continental Wrestling Association, or the AWA Southern Heavyweight Championship one time, CWA Heavyweight Champion one time. In the New Age Wrestling Alliance, the NAWA, he was the champion, held on to the Heavyweight Championship one time, the Tag Team Championships 2 times, with CJ Stardust. Battle Zone, the NWA Mississippi Heavyweight Championship one time, NWA Mid-South, he was the NWA Mid-South Heavyweight Championship one time, and PWI, or Pro Wrestling Illustrated, ranked him 130 of the 500 best single wrestlers of the year in the PWI 500 in 1992. PWI ranked him number 451 of the top 500 single wrestlers of the PWI years in 2003. Down this Southwestern Championship Wrestling, the NWA Southwestern Tag Team Championship, with Norva Austin, he held the championship one time. And South's Greatest Wrestling Fans, or the SGWF Heavyweight Championship one time. In the USWA, he was the television champion one time, the USWA World Tag Team Championship on 3 occasions with Sweet Daddy Falcone one time, the Gambler one time, and Reggie B one time. In WCWA, or World Class Championship Wrestling, he was the Texas Heavyweight Champion one time. He was inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame Legacy Wing class of 2020. Brickhouse Brown, you will forever be remembered by those who love you best. I'm Todd Tanner for Wrestling News Now.